I am Benoy Joseph, Faculty of Social Science, Silver Hills Higher Secondary School. Today I am going to take a session on 9th Standard History, called it as Towards a Brighter Future. Chapter 9, Towards a Brighter Future. First, what does the picture convey to you? It's a picture we can see. A vulture is standing and waiting for the death of a small child. It's actually weak, and whenever he dies, the vulture wants to make him as his prey. Now, this picture conveys a message of the problems faced by not only the child, not only in that specific area, but all around the world, that we are going to discuss here in today's session. The problems, the major problems which the humankind's been feeling nowadays. Now here, the social problems and its solution. That is actually the topic all about. Social problems and how we can solve these problems. Now, what is meant by social problems? Those problems which affect the society directly or indirectly are considered as social problems. Problems, whether individual or common, that exist for a long time, affecting the society, are called social problems. There are n numbers of social problems we can see here itself. Now, according to the philosophers, they mentioned what is actually the social problem all about. Social problem, a way of behavior that is regarded by a substantial part of society as being in violation of one or more generally accepted or approved norms. It should be a common problem which being affected to the society, that we call it as social problem. Otherwise, by Lindbergh, if individuals exhibit such behavioral changes that can destroy existence of tolerance in the society, it can be considered as social problem. Now, what are the inferences we can make? These two quotings, what we can convey with these things? What are the inferences you can make about social problems? That means violation of common etiquettes in the society, violation of social laws, threat to the very existence of the society. This we called it as social problems. Now, what are the major problems we are facing? Lack of shelter, poverty, insecurity of old age people, juvenile crimes, cyber problems, and many more. Now, in this session, we are going to discuss certain points which actually creating social problems. Now here, the first problem that we are facing here is the poverty. It's a huge problem. Poverty is the inability to secure the minimum consumption level, that we call it as poverty. Minimum things, basic needs should be fulfilled by the people. If it is not possible, we can call that situation as poverty. That is a huge problem in India nowadays. Not only in India, around the world, it's a major issue for social well-being. Now here the second major problem is unemployment. Everywhere it is there, because it is the COVID time. Many people are being unemployed because they are not having jobs. The middle of 20, but now it is not there because of the pandemic. That is why majority of the people, according to the statistics, around more than 25% people lost their daily living means. And they have been thrown out for what we call it as unemployment. Unemployment is a major challenge and it creates social problems. Now the third one is shelter. Now in the news itself, we can see 2 persons being died due to lack of shelter. They have struggled for making them for a good and a better shelter for their children. 2 children were there and they struggled for making that thing, and at last they've been killed themselves for not having a proper shelter. Shelter is a huge problem nowadays. That is also a social problem. That is why in all the media they have been propagating this message that because of shelter in Kerala, because lack of shelter in Kerala itself, the people are dying now also. Now the next problem is a huge problem when we are talking about Kerala. It's insecurity of old age people. Now when we are talking about Kerala, because of the medical facilities, because of the literacy and other things, the people's age structure is growing. In the beginning, around 100 years before, we are having a age structure of 50 years or 55 years. Now it is 80, 90. The old age people are keep on increasing and they are being secured by the family members and even by the government. But if it is not happened, they have been thrown out to the society. They have been in the roadside and they are insecure for their daily livelihood. We have already heard about certain stories. Our old age parents being thrown out to some unknown places in certain newspapers. This is actually an important problem faced by the society, and afterwards if they are being thrown out from the family, it will be having a social issue and a social problem. Now we can see here, you can help the old age people. You can help the old age people in many ways. Do you keep practicing the following things in your life that you have to check it. By this, I'm giving you some indicators, always, occasionally, never, that you people have to think. Do you help the old age people by recognizing their needs? You can write, is it always, occasionally or never? Now the second one is, do you offer your seat in a bus to an old age person? You can write always, occasionally, never. And the third one is, do you provide priority to senior citizen? Likewise, do you help the senior citizens in any ways? Do you spend time talking with your old parents or your grandparents? Do you visit old age homes? Do you celebrate the day of old age people? If you are right, always, occasionally, never, is there in your textbook. You can go through it. Now here, another important social problem we are facing is violence against women. Everywhere, whenever we see the newspaper, we can see that the violence against the women is keep on rising, not only in Kerala, not only in India, either the world. But it's a big social problem. Crimes like atrocity against women, crimes such as denial of right, their jobs, there is not getting equal opportunity, and many more violations are there. How we can solve this? That we are going to discuss. Now here, using of, for you people, please don't do it, because it's your life. Intoxication, mainly to the age group of 13 to 20 or in the middle age of the people are being hit by intoxicated substances. It is a huge menace for the society and it creates lot of social problems if a person is being intoxicated. or he has been using the intoxicating substances, he actually wants money, more and more money to purchase these things, and for that he is not able to do and render these things, and they are going for illegal ways to get these money and the stuff, and it will create a huge problem to the society. That is why this is also an important problem that we call it as intoxication. Now this is we can discuss juvenile crime, the age group below 18 years. If they are doing some crimes, any crimes, that is being considered as juvenile crime. Now it's keep on increasing. The small child killed his brother. A 12-year-old boy hit his parents. The same. We can see lot of things in the newspapers and the media. The juvenile crimes. It is also became a social problem, because the urge of the students getting more and more money for their lavish life, they are being acting as criminals to the society for their own benefit, and it is a big social problem nowadays. Now this is all we can say. Now we can say these juvenile crimes can be limited not only in the home, it should be there in our society and commonly in our schools. What we can do for these juvenile crimes and other things? We had to make some arrangements in the school itself. It's already there in our school. The counseling centers, de-addiction centers, and other methods that we can implement in our society to stop these all social problems and regulate the people. Mainly we have to give value education to the people to adopt a new beginning and to make our country proud. Another problem is the cyber crime that everybody knows. Bullying inside the cyber world, passing out of messages and pictures, and passing of pictures and messages, and bullying inside the public platforms, the cyber world. These all things are being creating social problems, because if we are passing certain information that is a fake information to the society, and it will create unhealthy practices and unhealthy competitions, and even the social problem can be arised with these all cyber crimes. We can see cyber crimes in and around the world, in and around our state, in and around our school, and we have to limit our not proper practices, or we can call it as improper practices of cyber world. And we have to use the cyberspace in a better manner. Now, there is another thing. The crime against children is also keep on increasing. There are many articles being published by well-known publishers about the child abuse happening. If anything happened to you people, anything happened in the name of child abuse, or anything which is not being permitted in the society happen to you, you people have to inform to your parents and to the teachers. That is the proper thing. It should not be happen. That is why your parents should be well aware, and even to the teachers. It's also a big social problem nowadays, that crimes against children. Now, this is all about the problems. We have to work for a brighter future to avoid these problems and to make our life, our surrounding, our society, our world in a better manner, and we have to lead ourselves to a brighter future. That's all. Thank you.